Hey, what's up guys? I'm Jacob Kaufman and I'm the Nerd on the Street, and today I am giving you my review of Pear Linux 6. I don't know what I'm trying to get in the shot there because it's not actually running, but let me flip around to the front camera or the back camera on my iPod and show you Pear Linux 6. Alright, so once again I apologize, I'm using a CRT, but that's what I got. We're just gonna go ahead, press the power button. So I've been using Pear Linux for, I think, a little over a week now. Maybe 2 weeks. I think it's just a little over a week though. And I've been liking it. I've been liking it a whole lot more than Commos OS 4. Which was the last version of this OS I tried. So this is the BIOS password. Right after I press enter right now, you'll see how quickly the operating system loads. And I should mention that while my computer does have a 64-bit processor and 8 gigabytes of RAM, I did install the 32-bit version of the operating system due to limitations of availability of the 64-bit version. So yeah, just so you know, this is the 32-bit version, not the 64-bit version. So here we have the same kind of screen setup as Ubuntu Linux does. I added this Mac desktop background myself, but there are other Mac desktop backgrounds built in. So, you know, same as Ubuntu, except it says Pear Linux 6 down here. I'll press enter to log in, and I'm logged in now. And that was really fast. So this is it. I'm going to just go ahead and jump right in, showing you the layout of the operating system. So down here we have the Finder. That is your, default file manager. I forget what it's called, but it's the same file manager. None of this. Yeah, the same one that's on every other Linux distribution in the world. We have Launchpad. Launchpad is really interesting. It's based off of the Mac OS Launchpad. And we just open it up. And as you can see, this is a modified version of the GNOME 3 Activities menu. They basically took everything in the Activities menu and broke it up. So Launchpad is where the apps went. So you see we have different pages down here. We have different categories of apps, and we have our search bar, and then we have all of our apps laid out in a nice grid here, just like we would on Mac OS's Launchpad or on an iPad. So I can scroll or click through the pages, and I can click to sort in categories. You can just start typing to search. And I don't know why I'm searching for test, because nothing came up. But yeah, search is instant. Now it should be noted you can't do all of the cool things on here that you can do in full Launchpad. For instance, drag and drop to make folders. Now if I click gedit and I try to drag it over to calculator and then I let go, then it just launches gedit. So yeah, no drag and drop. That's gedit, just for you to see. It's not calculator, but yeah, so yeah, that's Launchpad. The Pear App Store is the App Store for this distro, and this is not based off of the Ubuntu App Store. This is based off of the Deepin Linux App Store. So I've got, you see here's Home, where they have just some featured things. Chromium is featured, which is interesting because Chrome comes in the default browser. They have a set of browsers to install, and Chrome is in it, not Chromium. They are two different things, though they're remarkably similar. But yeah, we have latest upgrades, recommendations, internet, multimedia. I'm gonna bring the camera out so the CRT is not quite as bad. But we have games, graphics. We just have a bunch of different categories of software. And Wine actually has its own category, which is funny because there are only 2 packages in the entire category. And I mean, Wine can be pretty useful, but I would put it under like, oh hey, while we're here, this is a French distribution. It's based in France. The website is pearlinux.fr. And as you can see, not everything is translated. Yeah, some things that are English are not the best grammar, although this is, once again, the translations are a whole lot better than with Commos OS 4. So here we have our repository, and that's actually where you get to all your files. You have, or all your packages, sorry. You have all of your categories here, and you can scroll through whatever category is selected here. You can sort them by a couple different things, and you can search over at the top right. And once again, like wine has its own category with 2 things. You can either just press install to install things, or you can click on the name and it'll give you, you know, the description, screenshot, and it'll give you the install button. Next we have updates. I just have one update, Firefox, and I don't use Firefox, so I'm not going to update that just yet. We have uninstall, so this is everything I have installed. And I can search for things I have installed, and I can uninstall them. As you can see, there are ratings on these, although the ratings are separate from the Ubuntu Software Center, as previously noted. So, yeah, we also have package sizes. And then downloads, these are basically, this is your queue list, so what you're doing right now. So, if I were to click upgrade Firefox, then it will automatically show me the progress bar there, and there will also be a little 1 by downloads, and there it's listed under download now too. Now, the Pear App Store was a whole lot better experience than last time I used this operating system, but it's still nowhere near perfect. It's still very buggy, and it's, once again, a heck of a lot less buggy than last time, but it's still a bit too buggy to be used as a mainstream operating system app store. For instance, upgrades, if I click more than one upgrade and queue them, they have an entire section, the download section, dedicated to queuing, but every time I tried to queue more than one software installation task at a time, then it would freeze on whatever is, or was currently there, and then nothing else would go, and I'd have to restart the computer to clear the running tasks. So, yeah, if you don't know what that means, basically you can't have more than one thing lined up to go at the same time. You have to wait for one thing to finish, go back, click the next thing manually. And, I mean, it's usable, but when I had, like, 15, 20 updates, it was really annoying to have to sit here and do that. However, very pleasant experience, compared to last time, especially. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and click the X. As you can see, there is some custom theming of this operating system, and if you can't already tell, it's based off of the Mac GUI. Next down here, we have, well, I'm not going to walk you through the rest of these, because, like, I added the terminal. I added OpenShot. Let me put my finger here so that it kind of, does it kind of focus? I don't know. But, you know, we got LibreOffice. Now, a lot of these things did not come pre-installed. Very little came pre-installed with this operating system. Basically, we had, like, File Manager, a couple of social networking applications. LibreOffice did not come pre-installed. Firefox did come pre-installed. There were no video or photo editors that came pre-installed. That was very interesting. I had to go and install VLC myself. No movie players, caffeine, none of that was pre-installed. And I had to go install Eye of Gnome because no image viewers were installed by default. So, I am going to show you the Pear system settings. This is a whole lot like the GNOME 3. Well, it is the GNOME 3 settings panel, because this is based off of GNOME 3, once again. We have appearance, you know, all the stuff is the same as usual, except we have Pear dock config. This is nice. You can change the size of the dock. You can choose to hide it. None of the times that you can do that, you can choose to IntelliHide it so that it goes away when you drag things over it. And you can choose to auto-hide so that you have to bring it up yourself. There's unhide delays, positions. You can have it top, top is interesting. You can also have it left, you know, right, bottom, all the same things, and you can have it positioned on either side as well. So there are multiple themes. This theme is customized by me, but yeah, there's default. There's a couple other default ones, and yeah, you can customize those yourself. And then there's an About tab. Another thing that is on Pear Linux that is not on most Linux distributions is Pear Linux Tweak. You can click that. It opens up a kind of more detailed settings manager specifically made for Pear Linux. So I'm going to maximize that. And you have your info, recently used within, you know, recently used settings. We have tweaks. So this is a whole lot like the KDE settings manager. It just looks like. So yeah, that lets you tweak a whole lot of the customizations that were made to the operating system within the development of Pear OS. So that's nice. Everything else is basically just the default GNOME 3 settings here. So we're just going to go over a couple more operating system things. You know, there's the clock at the top, just like all GNOME 3 things. Over at the side, you have your power, mail and chat and all that. Your sounds and your Wi-Fi. Same wireless drivers as everything else, as far as I could tell. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is where the activities menu normally is within Pear. And if no windows are open, watch this. Activities menu. Oh, there's a window open. I'll close that. Alright, so I'm in the activities menu now. The display is no longer dimmed for the activities menu, but the icons are no longer there. That's a bug. I have to open up a window and do that to get the icons back on the desktop. So yeah, there are some bugs in the modified activities. Whoa. Jeez, why am I using a CRT? Why? I don't know. But, you know, here is your, yeah, the file manager. Now, you'll notice here, two things are missing. One of them is the apps, and we already covered that. That's in the Launchpad, remember? But the other thing that's missing is virtual desktops. And I thought they would be over here to the side, like normal. And what really threw me off is they weren't over here on the side, and they're not on the top either. Because in Mac OS, this is supposed to be mission control right here. And in Mac OS, the virtual desktops are on the top. But they don't have them on the top, they have them on the bottom. You have to bring your mouse over to the bottom left-hand corner. And it took me forever to figure this out, but when I did, it was very easy. It's just not very clear. Now, at first, I thought this was completely random, and the people making Pear OS were just idiots, but then I realized that this looks a whole lot like the iOS multitasker. So, maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know. It sure threw me off, because there's no buttons or documentation that say go down here. You just have to do it. So yeah, that's how you get to your virtual desktops, because I cannot live without virtual desktops. So you know how virtual desktops work. We can open a terminal on that virtual desktop, and now we have a file manager in this virtual desktop, and that's virtual desktops. So yeah, there are desktop icons on here on the left side as opposed to the right side on Mac OS. Anything that's mounted, basically, and your trash. I don't know what that thumbnail thing is. Oh, that's from the camera, the camcorder. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, I'm just hitting about 14 minutes here on the camera. I'm not sure what else to say. My overall, how I liked this product, I liked Pear OS. It was a very pleasant experience, especially compared to Comus OS 4. This is 2 versions later, and I must say, they really did polish it up nice. I love the built-in dock. There are not a lot of folders or options here. There's no stacks, is what I meant by no folders, but there are not a lot of things you can configure with the dock, as opposed to before it was based off of Docky, but this is so much better working than Docky. Docky is a Linux dock application, if you didn't know. But yeah, I love the built-in dock. Virtual Desktop Manager, once again, could have been easier to find, so points off for that, but I do like the fact that they still have the activities menu. I really did like the Launchpad, although when I was looking for specific things it was a little confusing, because as you can see, these things are not in any kind of order whatsoever. It's not within, it's not installed date, it's not alphabetical, I tried to look for a pattern and I could not find one. Now that I think about it, it might be, I think it's the order of the categories, now that I think about it, because system tools are last, and social networking is first. But then again, but if social networking is first, why is Google Plus way down here? That's what I'm talking about. I could not find a pattern for how apps were sorted in the Launchpad, so that was a little confusing. But, you know, there's the search feature, so that was okay. I did not encounter a heck of a lot of bugs with this, other than the App Store was my main complaint, that I could not queue more than one update. If they added an update all button, that would also be nice, because even if you do want to queue more than one update, you have to click update on everyone individually. There's no update all button. But overall, it's basically some things don't work hardly at all, and some things are absolutely perfect. So I think it's worth it. If you have ever tried to install Hackintosh, then go and get Pear OS. It's not Mac OS. I'm telling you right now, it's not Mac OS. But you know what? If you admire the Mac operating system and you're a Linux user, you might want to give this a try. So there you go. That is my review of Pear OS. So once again, overall general review, I liked it. There were still quite a few bugs that needed to be ironed out, but overall, I really did like this operating system. So if you have any questions at all, then just leave me a comment. I'll address it in my next channel update. So just come back for my next channel update, and to do that, you'll have to subscribe. So if you have any questions, subscribe. And once again, guys, don't forget to be liking my videos, because I've been getting comments telling me I'm doing good, but then I've been getting more dislikes than likes. So please like my videos, show me that I'm doing a good job, and if I'm not, leave me a comment. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. So, yeah, I'm the Nerd on the Street. I'm Jacob Kaufman, and I have one more thing to say before I end this video. So, this week I reviewed an operating system that aims to be like Mac OS. Next week, I will be reviewing an operating system that aims to be like Windows. Zorin OS is the next Linux distribution I will be testing. This is a page from distrowatch.com, one of my favorite websites ever. If you have never used a Linux distribution before, head on down to here and click Major Distributions to learn about the major distributions of Linux. But yes, Zorin OS is a minor distribution of Linux, aiming to be a gateway for Windows users. Gateway to Linux for Windows users. This is their website. I remember a while ago I came to Zorin OS and they offered a premium version, and I did not like that at all. I don't like getting light versions of things if there's a premium version available, because that usually means I'm going to be limited in my experience. However, they are no longer offering a premium, well, they are offering premium versions, but basically all that is support. So, so now that there's not actual features being withheld from me, I am going to try Zorin OS, the free version, and I'll let you know how it is. I'm going to see if it really is all that like Windows. And if it is, then I might keep it for a while. I'm telling you, I really would be tempted to keep Pear OS for a while if I didn't have the 32-bit version and if this did not look so inviting. But I am going to try Zorin OS out. So, check out my video coming soon for my installation of that. So once again, I liked Pear Linux. My name is Jacob Kaufman. I'm the Nerd on the Street, and I will see you later. See ya.